Right now, we're hearing from a local school district after a student was seen wearing blackface at a basketball game.
And taking a live look at Denver, Colorado this morning, we're talking about the major winter storm affecting travel across the country ahead of Thanksgiving Day. And it's headed our way, folks. Hattie has the details straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us on your Tuesday, November 26th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Ryder. Meteorologist Hattie McLean tracking a big storm system already affecting a lot of people across the country.
Yeah, you saw that video from Denver International. It is snowing there right now and blowing, and it's all headed in this direction. Take a look at Weather Track this morning. We have just clouds this morning, nothing actually falling from the clouds here. However, I do expect some rain to move in by the afternoon commute, so be aware of that. 32 right now in Madison and Platteville, 35 in the Dells, even as mild as 40 in Boscobel this morning. So under the clouds, there's a little bit of a benefit. It's a little bit warmer early today. Temperatures will climb back into the 40s today, so we're definitely on the warm side of this system. It's going to be all rain for southern Wisconsin. And again, that rain will start probably around 4 o'clock here in Madison. Take a look at your traffic maps this morning. Your first alert traffic showing you that the Beltline and Park Street travel looking good. Weather should not impact your travel at all this morning. It's getting a little busier on Stoughton Road as you approach the Beltline, but otherwise no major delays or accidents to report at this time. Again, coming up in Maine Weather Guys, we'll talk about rain and snow. Here's just a little tease. On the wet side of things, we could see anywhere from a half to almost an inch of rain across southern Wisconsin.
And it really depends on where you're going, right? Because southern Wisconsin looking at rain, the more north you get, we could see some snow.
Yeah, the white stuff for the North Woods. I will talk about snow totals, and it could be pretty heavy in some spots.
Ooh,
all right.
We've been warned. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
To the headlines this morning, we're following a major ruling that could have a big impact on the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. A federal judge says former White House counsel Don McGahn must testify before the U.S. House, knocking down White House claims that current and former staffers have absolute immunity. Lawmakers want to speak to him about the president's alleged attempts to obstruct the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. The judge said McGahn can still refuse to answer questions. The Justice Department says it plans to appeal the ruling.
The man facing charges for an attempted homicide is due in court today. 32-year-old Donald Lewis was arrested in connection with the shooting at Club Landmark on the city's east side in October. The 36-year-old man was shot outside the club and showed up at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police got DNA from the scene and were able to match it to Lewis.
Also happening today, the man accused of throwing acid onto a Latino man's face will state his case to a judge. 61-year-old Clifton Blackwell is charged with first-degree reckless injury as a hate crime in the November 1st attack. The victim, Mahoud Valiez, says Blackwell confronted him and asked, "Why are you in my country?" before throwing the acid on his face. Blackwell is in jail this morning, but could get out on a $20,000 bond if he's able to get a GPS monitor. If not, he'll have to pay $50,000 to bond out.
An area school district is investigating after a student posted a picture of themselves in blackface at a high school basketball game. The Sun Prairie School District says there is no excuse for this behavior, and it's praising students who had the courage to intervene. In a letter sent to parents, the district says the student didn't show up to the game with that blackface paint on, but applied it sometime during the game. He eventually took the face paint off after some of his peers spoke up. The school district would not go on camera, but said the situation is being addressed, telling parents their policy prohibits anything deemed to be disruptive, distracting, provocative, or intimidating that has a detrimental effect on the safe atmosphere in school. The district also provided a link to an article about the history of blackface created to demean and dehumanize African Americans.
Wisconsin is ending the year with more fatal police shootings than last year. New data collected by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association shows Wisconsin law enforcement shot and killed 16 people this year. That's more than last year. 11 of those killed were white, 3 were black, and 2 were Hispanic. Of the 28 fatal and non-fatal shootings so far this year, 26 involved a suspect with a weapon. Wisconsin is one of 34 states that doesn't require officers to learn de-escalation tactics, which is known to lead to fewer shots by officers.
More local news now. New numbers out of Dane County show that the jail is on pace to hit a record number of attempted suicides. The Dane County Jail has been tracking attempted suicide since 2013, when it tracked 21. The numbers rose to 35 in 2014, dipped to a low of 13 in 2017, and hit 41 in 2018. There have been 39 so far this year, with no completed suicides. Sheriff Dave Mahoney credits those rising attempts to jails becoming modern mental health institutions, with factors like the opioid epidemic at play.
Where there's really a need now is options other than jail that create a criminal justice record for an individual who may be better served by being in a intermediate mental health facility.
All inmates receive a mental health evaluation and care if it's needed. Mahoney hopes a new hospital-style housing tower to be completed in 2024 will help with mental and medical health care in the jail.
The family of a local police sergeant is honoring her memory by giving back to her favorite program. Sergeant Jess Fisher of the town of Madison Police was a committed member of Shop with a Cop. She died by suicide in August of 2018. Her father and brother, who own Mick Fisher Trophy and Engraving in Beaver Dam, made personalized coffee tumblers to raise money for Shop with a Cop.
She loved doing Shop with a Cop. That's all I heard about from maybe July on was, Mom, we got to get this going. We got to get Shop with a Cop. How much are you going to give me? So I'd always give her a little money toward Shop with a Cop.
Shop with a Cop is a nonprofit organization that helps children from low-income families. Police officers take them shopping for gifts during the holiday season. The Fisher family has already donated a $2,000 check to that program. 6:06 is your time this morning. A lot of us are looking to snag some great deals on Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
But you might want to save some of your money for Giving Tuesday. Our Keely Arthur has a look at how you can keep your charitable giving local this holiday season.
Good
Hi,
morning,
Keely.
you two.
Good morning.
I always hear you in my ear. It's nice to see your faces.
Good to have you in a nice warm studio
yes,
today.
Love that too. Well, one of the best things about our community is that there is so much philanthropy, so many worthy organizations to give to. In the last half hour, we took a look at where your dollar will go if you donate to the local chapters of the Boys and Girls Club, United Way, and the St. Mary's Foundation. Here is a look at another batch of charities worthy of your dollar this Giving Tuesday. First up, Porch Light. This is a truly local organization which strives to reduce homelessness in Dane County. I think we've all seen the issue firsthand in Madison. Monetary donations will go to providing emergency and long-term shelters, affordable housing, and other supportive services. If you don't want to donate money, check out the group's Amazon list. They've selected a ton of items which you can purchase and then have it shipped directly to them, which is kind of a cool new way to give. And if you can't give this week or next, they have extended collection days every Saturday in December. If feeding hungry families is something you're passionate about, Second Harvest may be a great option for you. They help distribute millions of pounds of food each year. Some of that money will also help folks apply to government assistance programs like SNAP, which can be a little complicated. And best of all, the money will stay right here in southern Wisconsin. And finally, Geo's Garden, which is a nonprofit that provides respite care or temporary relief to primary caregivers in families with children who have severe developmental disabilities. Their goal is to raise $4,000 during Giving Tuesday, and this money will help keep these services free for families who are on the wait list for state and county financial support. For anyone interested in giving, I would recommend checking out madisongives.org. The website has a directory of more than 6,000 nonprofits in Dane, Columbia, Greene, Sauk, and Iowa counties. And we should also mention that Geo's Garden is founded and run by Charlotte DeLeste, who is our amazing 6 and 10 p.m. anchor. We don't get to see her a lot, but I just wanted to give her a little shout out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that there are so many options that really there's something for everyone and you aren't kind of limited with what you have to give to.
No, if you want to give for art or the homeless or families, you know, you name it, there's a way to give.
6,000, right?
6,000
organizations.
in those counties that I just listed, yeah.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
incredible. Something for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Keely Arthur, thank you so much.
Thanks.
So if you have a consumer question about maybe a charity or a complaint about a company, or maybe you're a victim of a recent scam, our Call for Action volunteers are holding a special evening call-in to help you out with that. They'll be available after hours as you get home from work this coming Monday. We'll have live reports all evening helping to answer your questions. Again, that's happening Monday night from 5 until 7. All right, 6:09 on your Tuesday, just 2 days away from Thanksgiving now, and we've got a heads up as you're doing your last minute grocery shopping. We have a list of local foods on recall coming up next.
And in the First Alert Weather Center this morning, we're tracking a storm system impacting Thanksgiving travel across the country. Hattie has the latest on the messy holiday forecast right after this on News 3 Now this morning. Right now, you're taking a live look at the snow impacting thousands of travelers. Snow is making its way through Denver, Colorado this morning, and hundreds of flights are already impacted at Denver International Airport. Travelers are trying to avoid having to sleep overnight at the terminal, and while no one wants to get snowed in, passengers say that's just part of traveling. Now, this is headed our way, and Hattie's here now with more on the system that will...
That's right, Josh. I feel their pain. I've spent a night at the Denver terminal, not due to winter storm, but due to a tornado in the vicinity that canceled flights. So very tough traveling expected across the country. Denver's a major hub, and it's currently receiving some pretty heavy snow. We have alert days in our forecast. This same storm system is going to head to the Great Lakes region tonight. It will bring some rain to southern Wisconsin and very strong winds. Keep in mind, winds could delay travel just as much as precipitation. Flights cannot land when we're talking wind gusts 40+ miles an hour, and that is a real possibility with this storm. Right now, on the winter side of things, for the northern part of our state, winter storm warnings are in effect. They include Eau Claire, Minneapolis, Rhinelander, Superior, and then down all the way back into Colorado this morning. Here is a look at future. Oh, it skipped over a little too quickly there, but there is a band of heavy snow, 6 to 12 inches, likely from southwestern Minnesota up into northwestern Wisconsin. Wisconsin. So if your travel plans take you in that direction, be prepared. Make sure you got that winter car kit in the car and ready to go. Now on Wednesday, wind advisories will go into effect for southern Wisconsin and all of northern Illinois, where high wind watch is currently in place. We're talking wind gusts in excess of 35 miles an hour. Here's a look at your future track wind gusts Wednesday morning. With that storm almost overhead, winds won't be terribly strong in the morning, but they will be increasing during the morning hours. By lunchtime, wind gusts 35 to around 40 miles an hour, and they may gust in the 40 to 45 mile an hour range at times. Again, this is a northwesterly wind, so it will impact travel on east-west roads the most. If you are driving a high-profile vehicle, keep that in mind. Winds stay strong even through the evening hours, diminishing overnight. Now, here's a look at weather track this morning. We don't really have anything pressing right now, just clouds moving into the area. No precipitation just yet. Take a look at southern Wisconsin, though, and we'll show you what our temperatures are under those clouds. 35 in the Dells, 32 in Madison, 30 in Janesville. That's actually the warm or the cool spot, and the only location below freezing this morning. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. If you're traveling early today, you shouldn't have any troubles, just cloudy skies. There may be a few breaks in the cloud cover towards the lunch hour. Temperatures will be closing in on 40 degrees by noon today, but by 4:30, look at the rain already moving into southern Wisconsin. You have to go north of the Dells to see that rain snow line. So if you are traveling northwest this evening, you'll likely hit some snow or change over to all snow as you head towards Toma and La Crosse. All rain though for southern Wisconsin, with even the potential for a few rumbles of thunder overnight. Rain diminishes on Wednesday through the morning hours. Then it just turns very windy for the rest of the day. Temperatures will fall through the day on Wednesday. And for Thanksgiving, we're looking at pretty quiet conditions with a high of 36. But another storm moving in for the upcoming weekend, possibly affecting return travel. Let's get an update on those traffic maps now, though. We'll send it over to Josh Tim for all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. So far, nothing major happening on the Beltline right now. All lanes are moving well in both directions with no major issues. Checking out some other roads here in Dane County, though, there looks to be a crash on Stoughton Road heading southbound at the Buckeye Road intersection. Delays will be growing in that area until they get that cleaned up. No problems downtown around campus. Plan on things picking up over the next hour or so. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving at the usual speeds with no major issues. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. The potential for some nasty weather during your holiday drive. It's a good reason why you should download our Channel 3000 Weather and Traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your Turkey Day travel is headed our way, with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions as you head home for the holidays. You can get it for free right now in your app store.
Winter weather is here, which means you're probably already getting back into the routine of bundling the kids up before heading out. But those puffy coats could be getting in the way of making sure your kids are safely buckled up in the car. The reason? Well, that extra bulk that's keeping your kids warm is also making extra space between them and their safety harness, which could put your child in danger in the event of a crash. As a safety reminder for you before you hit the roads for the holidays, you can easily fix this by taking off your child's coat before getting in the car and then strapping them in.
If you are taking a cheat day to feast on some Thanksgiving food, you're not alone. A recent Harris poll shows 59% of Americans think of Thanksgiving as a cheat day from their diets. 44%, though, say they do everything in their power to find healthy choices for their Turkey Day meal.
When you're prepping a dish for your Thanksgiving dinner, there are a couple of recalls you should know about. Romaine Lettuce is under recall for concerns over Ecoli. 40 people across 16 states have gotten sick so far, including some folks right here in Wisconsin. In Illinois, 500,000 pounds of pork product is being recalled because they weren't inspected. Those include pork loin, back ribs, and pork chops. And Lee is particularly upset about this one. Cheese nips are under recall. I know some boxes might have been contaminated with plastic bits. Oof. There are a number of other recalls, and we've got a list for you up on channel3000.com.
All right, here's another health reminder ahead of Turkey Day. Wash your hands before you start cooking. In case you think that warning's not necessary, sounds pretty obvious, there is a new study showing 1 in 4 people admit they don't wash their hands before preparing food.
Come on.
Josh is shuddering over here. The study also found 38% of people only use soap and water to sanitize their kitchen before holiday cooking, which could lead to foodborne illnesses. Another piece of advice to stay healthy during the holidays: keep the turkey on the bottom shelf of your fridge. Here's why. The higher the turkey is, the more raw juices can drip onto food stored below.
Oh, my OCD alert is going off right now.
I don't even like talking about that. Disgusting.
Oh, I have a hard time eating other people's food just because I just want to know where it came from. I get that from my dad.
Josh is the cleanest person I've ever met. He would
A
shudder.
little ridiculous.
Shudder to come into my
Well,
house.
you saw that I was already.
Yeah, ooh.
All right, 6:19 is your time right now. Just a few days left in the gun deer season, and some changes will be being made to impact where you can go. We're telling you what trails are off limits coming up after the break.
And Hattie's bringing us the latest in her alert day forecast. She's continuing to update the radar on that storm we've been talking about all week and all morning. Your first alert weather is up next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. 6:23 this morning. You're taking a live look out at Denver, and what you can't hear is the wind there. That snow coming down, the wind. That's what we're going to see starting to move into Wisconsin, right, Hattie?
It's all headed in our direction. Right now, relatively quiet, but again, this storm is a big one. It's going to impact travel across the country. In fact, let's take a look at those holiday travel delays. Here, starting this morning at 6 o'clock, Denver, you saw the video. It's snowing there. The wind is blowing. Major travel delays and impacts in Denver. That's at Hub Airport as well, so that's likely going to slow things down around the country. And we put this map into motion, and you'll see that those travel delays move into the Great Lakes region. Minneapolis affected later on today, and Chicago as well. Those strong winds are going to continue to impact travel through the day on Wednesday here in the Great Lakes. So if you are traveling, pay close attention to that weather forecast. Our temperatures this morning are actually starting above freezing. 34 here in Madison, 35 in the Dells. Janesville's the only spot, or Janesville and Platteville now, below freezing. Your bus stop weather forecast, it's likely a short week for the school kids this week. Cloudy skies as you head to school and on the way home. Not bad on those temperatures though, 45 degrees. Rain will be developing after 3 o'clock for southern Wisconsin.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. Investigators are working to identify human remains found by a hunter in the woods. Officers say a hunter found those remains on Saturday up in Adams County, just off of 10th Avenue. The Dane County Sheriff's Department is working with Adams County and the Department of Justice to search those woods along with police dogs.
First responders credit drone technology with helping them find an injured hunter who couldn't move to find help. Take a look at this video. Thermal images show the moment first responders could zero in on him. He's the only red figure on your screen. This happened on opening day of gun deer hunting season in Sheboygan County. The hunter fell 12 feet from a tree stand and was treated and released from the hospital.
Right now, hunters won't be able to go on certain trails for the rest of the gun deer hunt. Starting at the Ice Age Junction at McKee Road and finishing in Prairie Moraine County Park, people are able to hike without worrying about hunters. The 6-mile trail runs through an urban area. A lot of the decision depends on the preference of property owners and the safety risks of hunting near homes.
We're not inadvertently like flushing out deer or, getting in the way of, a bullet that's being fired. So it's really about respect and safety all along the trail during this time of year.
Officials with the Ice Age Alliance say to wear blaze orange when you're hiking and to make sure your dog is wearing it as well. Important stuff there.
Yeah, good tips.
All right, still ahead, we have the top 3 things you need to know on your Tuesday morning as you head out the door.
Also ahead at 6:30, we're continuing to track a storm system making its way across the country, impacting Thanksgiving travel for millions. Hattie's bringing us the latest updates and when we're going to see the first signs of weather here in Wisconsin. That's next.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for staying with us on this Tuesday, November 26th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie's updating her Thanksgiving travel forecast in just a minute here. It's one of our top 3 things to know as a winter storm is making its way in. But first, a major ruling that could have a big impact on the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. A federal judge says former White House counsel Don McGahn must testify before the U.S. House, knocking down White House claims that current and former staffers have absolute immunity. Lawmakers want to speak to him about the president's alleged attempts to obstruct the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. The Justice Department says it plans to appeal the ruling.
The second story we're following this morning, the man accused of throwing acid onto a Latino man's face will state his case to a judge today. 61-year-old Clifton Blackwell is charged with first-degree reckless injury as a hate crime in that November 1st attack. Blackwell is in jail this morning, but he could get out on a $20,000 bond if he's able to get a GPS monitor. If not, he'll have to pay $50,000 to bond out.
And finally, the story everyone's talking about. Tomorrow will be the busiest day for both drivers and flyers. Make sure to give yourself some extra time to get wherever you're going. Peak traffic can make your trip almost 4 times as long, and the weather is looking like it's going to make things even more complicated for the commute. Hattie's here now with the latest conditions and a look ahead to that Thanksgiving Day forecast. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. We're seeing some clouds in the area right now. You can see the Capitol behind me. Kind of a nice shot, but red sky and morning. You know what that means. We have a storm system moving in, and these are already the clouds from that particular system. So as you head out the door this morning, no weather-related issues early today, but by the time you're heading home, you're likely going to be encountering some rain across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures will definitely be warm enough for all rain here with highs at 45 today. Now, here's a look at your rain chances. Again, pretty low through the early afternoon hours, but ramping up quickly by about between 3 and 5 o'clock here in southern Wisconsin. And then rain is likely all night into Wednesday morning. Rain will diminish through the day tomorrow, so by Wednesday at 6, we're looking at dry conditions, but very windy conditions across southern Wisconsin. We turn our attention to winds tomorrow. Here's a look at your traffic maps early this morning. First alert traffic showing you some delays on Park Street and a few brake lights on the Beltline right at Stoughton Road. No other major issues, though, to report right now. Looks like travel still going at posted speeds. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk about snow totals from this particular system. There are winter storm warnings in effect.
Hattie, thank you. The potential for some nasty weather during your holiday drive is a good reminder of why you should download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed your way with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions. You can get it for free right now in your app store.
Developing right now, that same storm we're warning you about is forcing thousands of travelers to find new ways to make it home for the holidays, as snow is impacting hundreds of flights. At Denver International Airport, travelers are trying to avoid having to sleep overnight at the terminal. And while no one wants to get snowed in, passengers say that's just part of traveling through Colorado.
We're not in a rush.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Living out here for the past 6 years, kind of expect it. I've flown in bad weather a lot, so I'm not too worried about it.
Quite a mess out there, folks, but it is a different story just a few states away.
Yeah, another fire is tearing through more than 3,000 acres right now. Just take a look at this video. More than 1,000 customers are without power in Santa Barbara County as the cave fire spreads. It started in the nearby mountains late yesterday afternoon. A 4-mile stretch is being ordered to evacuate this morning as crews work to control that fire.
An update now to breaking news overnight. At least 14 people are confirmed dead, and more than 600 are hurt after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake. Take a look at some of the damage. This happened in Albania, a country that borders Greece to the north, early this morning. CBS This Morning will have the very latest on that developing story coming up after 7. New this morning, the Supreme Court is shielding President Trump's financial records from House Democrats for now. The court agreed to temporarily pause a lower court ruling demanding the president hand over his tax records to the House Oversight Committee. That pause will stay in effect until December 5th. That's the deadline for the president's legal team to file its appeal. The Supreme Court is expected to decide by mid-January whether to take up that case.
6:34 right now. A lot of us are looking to snag some great deals on Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
But you might want to save some of your money for Giving Tuesday. Keely Arthur is here this morning with some local organizations you can help benefit. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Leah and Josh. Good to see you too.
Yeah, good to have you here.
All right, well, I got some good advice for anyone looking to give this Tuesday. There are so many ways to give here locally. And here's a look at just a few of the many charities worthy of your dollar this Giving Tuesday. Now, not all are necessarily born local, but all have amazing local chapters. First up, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. They are running their Whatever It Takes to Give Hope campaign for Giving Tuesday. All the money raised stays local, and it will give kids and teens in our community access to all the amazing things the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County has to offer, like role models and mentors, career readiness and workforce programs, and healthy meals. Plus, we have Gio's Garden, which is an amazing nonprofit that provides respite care or temporary relief to primary caregivers and families with children who have severe developmental disabilities. Their goal is to raise $4,000 for Giving Tuesday, and this money will help keep these services free for families who are on the wait list for state and county financial support. Finally, the United Way of Dane County. By donating just $5, what you normally spend on a fancy cup of coffee, you will provide 25 meals for a family of 4. That's right, 25. The United Way works to distribute funds to many charities in our community that will help Dane County families, and your dollars will be invested in programs that include homelessness prevention, early education, and job training. For anyone interested in giving, I'd recommend checking out the MadisonGives.org website. It has a directory of more than 6,000 nonprofits in Dane, Columbia, Greene, Sauk, and Iowa counties. So many amazing ways to give you too.
All right, and it's kind of nice that there are a few different options that you can have, so a little bit for everyone.
Right, we were talking earlier, 6,000 in all those counties that we just listed. So no matter what your interest is, there is a way to give. And you can just give, like I said, $5 will give 25 meals to a family of 4. I mean, your dollar will go a long way, and it will stay right here.
'Tis the season.
All right, Keely Arthur, thank you so much.
We are following breaking news just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center at this hour. School is canceled today at a Milwaukee suburb high school after a shooting threat there. The school district of Greenfield says that threat is not considered credible, but they are calling off classes at the high school out of an abundance of caution. Classes will go on as normal for the rest of that district. Now, obviously, this story is very much still developing. We will update you as we learn more throughout the program and over on channel3000.com.
6:37 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we'll have the latest as authorities are searching for suspects in a European jewel heist.
And when we head out to the tree lot, you better be bringing an extra couple of bucks. We're telling you how much Christmas tree prices are supposed to go up this year. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
All right, time for My Morning at 6:40, and Paula is sharing this picture with us and another incredible, colorful photo there. I always love these shots with some snow on the ground.
A little Wisconsin countryside. Love that cornfield.
That really is. That is such a picturesque morning there.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Paula.
If you've got a photo that you'd like to share with us, just use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Well, if you and your family are planning on picking out a Christmas tree this year, plan to spend a little more than you did last year as prices are going up. The average cost for a real Christmas tree last year was $78. This year, or the year before that actually, it was $75. This year they could creep up to $81. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, Americans spent $2 billion on Christmas trees last year, 5 million more trees than the year before.
I always force my boyfriend Zach to go get a Christmas tree with me, and he hates it, so he's not gonna love that story.
See, I'm the fake tree.
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
love a
cheap.
real one. I want it to smell good. All right, you might want to go pick out that real perfect tree sooner rather than later. Tree lot owners say there could be a shortage of trees in the 8 to 10 foot range thanks to the Great Recession. They say many growers held back on planting trees during that time due to tight financial situations. However, Home Depot says they are having no problems with supply right now. Good news there. All right, the Madison Mallards are rising from the ashes of misfortune to bring you some holiday shopping savings.
So you might remember in October, the team clubhouse was burned down in an act of arson. Fortunately, none of the merchandise was in the store when it burned down, so now it can be yours in what the team is calling its hottest deals ever in the We Didn't Start the Fire sale.
Oh boy.
Discounts will range from 40 to 60% off their pre-fire pricing. The team's president says all the items are in good condition, but they may smell a bit smoky. The fire sale will be held in the Great Dane Duck Blind Suite on December 7th from noon until 4.
Sale is hot, hot, hot.
We didn't start the fire. That's one of my favorites.
That's quite in tune. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, gosh, you surprised?
Stay tuned for the holiday jingle coming up later, guys. All right, Hattie is continuing to track that storm system we've been warning you about all morning. Your Alert Day forecast is coming up next.
But first, it is November 26th, and we want to say happy birthday to Lexi and all the other kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating on News 3 Now this morning.
Look who
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. Take a look at this shot from our Edgewater sky camera this morning. Beautiful start to the day. Very calm right now, but things will change as we go through the day. Alert days are still in the forecast for tonight and Wednesday. We will look for rain to develop later on this afternoon, snow well north of the area, and then tomorrow the focus turns to the strong northwesterly winds. We could see wind gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour tomorrow. Now the storm is on the map. It is in the west. Denver getting some pretty heavy snow right now. You see that snow starting to lift to the north and east as we go through the last couple of hours. It'll take some time to get here, and we'll likely see some rain develop out ahead of this system as well. So mainly rain for southern Wisconsin, so no winter storm warnings in effect, but winter storm warnings from northwest Wisconsin all the way back through southern Minnesota down into Colorado today and tomorrow. Now our total snow potential from this particular system, again, there will likely be a heavy band from southern Minnesota into the north woods. Eau Claire, Minneapolis included in that potential for heavier snow, where more than 6 inches is possible, maybe up to a foot. You can see that those snow totals wind down pretty quickly, though, to the south. All rain for us here in southern Wisconsin. In fact, let's take a look at some of those rain totals for the area. From tonight through Wednesday, we're looking at a general half to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain. Some isolated higher amounts will be possible. There is a potential that you'll hear some rumbles of thunder tonight. But again, quite a bit of rain coming for southern Wisconsin. Temperatures will be warm enough that we'll experience all rain here. As temps cool with strong winds on Wednesday, wind advisories will go into effect for south central and southeastern Wisconsin, as well as northern Illinois. If you're traveling into Chicago, the winds are actually expected to be a little bit stronger to the south of the state line. Here's a look at some of those future track wind gusts. Again, we're starting this map 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That storm system moving almost right overhead. And in fact, in central Wisconsin, there's where the winds will be the lightest. But watch what happens as we go towards the lunch hour tomorrow. This is tomorrow again. Winds do increase in speed. Those wind gusts approaching 40 miles an hour through the afternoon. Here's 5 p.m. Still very windy. So if you're taking off for Thanksgiving travel tomorrow evening, expect a strong northwesterly wind. They will finally diminish overnight, but again, not until overnight for those lighter winds. Here's a look at your weather track forecast. We do have clouds moving into the area this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s, in fact, up to 34 here in Madison, 38 in Lone Rock, as well as Boscobel, so a nice mild start to the day. Generally dry through the morning hours with just some clouds across the region. Maybe a few breaks in the clouds towards the lunch hour, but temperatures will climb to highs in the mid-40s. Again, by the time you head home from work, that rain will be spreading into southern Wisconsin. Rain is then forecast for us all night tonight into tomorrow. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Relatively quiet on Thanksgiving with a high of 36. Another storm for the upcoming weekend, though, with more alert days in the forecast on Sunday. Here's a look at Bentley in Madison. Got the toy ready to play. Cloudy skies, 45. Not a bad day to be outside, as long as you can get out before the rain comes.
Little smirk on his face. Thank you very much, Addie.
You're welcome.
The morning sprint is up next. 6:52, time for the morning sprint with the most local news to start your Tuesday.
First to some breaking news of a school shooting threat that has one high school closed for the day. The school district of Greenfield, just outside of Milwaukee, says that threat is not considered credible, but they're still calling off classes at the high school out of an abundance of caution. Classes for the rest of that district will go on as normal.
It's dry right now across southern Wisconsin, but our rain chances really ramp up after lunchtime, especially heading towards the early evening hours. Rain is likely then overnight across southern Wisconsin. It will diminish through the day on Wednesday. Temperatures will stay warm enough that we're expecting all rain from this event for southern Wisconsin. We're looking at a high 45 degrees this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Hattie. That storm system that Hattie's been warning you about all week is already forcing thousands of travelers to find new ways to make it home for the holidays. At Denver International Airport, travelers are trying to avoid having to sleep overnight at a terminal. Snow and high winds already are hitting that part of the country, and that system is headed our way next.
Another fire is tearing through over 3,000 acres right now. More than 1,000 customers are without power in Santa Barbara County as the cave fire spreads in California. It started in the nearby mountains late yesterday afternoon. A 4-mile stretch is being ordered to evacuate this morning as crews work to control the fire. More than 6,000 fire incidents have been impacting California this year.
An update to breaking news nationally overnight. At least 14 people are dead and more than 600 others injured after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake. Take a look at some of the damage. This happened in Albania, a country that borders Greece to the north, early this morning. CBS This Morning will have the very latest just after 7.
Authorities in Germany are looking for a gang of jewel thieves who made off with millions in rare gems dating from the 18th century. The jewelry was stolen from the Green Vault in Dresden, one of the world's oldest museums. The museum claims the items are priceless and would be impossible to sell on the open market.
A federal judge says former White House counsel Don McGahn must testify before the U.S. House, knocking down White House claims that current and former staffers have absolute immunity. Lawmakers want to talk to him about the president's alleged attempts to obstruct the Russian investigation. The Justice Department says it plans to appeal that ruling.
The Sun Prairie School District is investigating after a student posted a picture of themselves wearing blackface at a school basketball game. The district says the student didn't show up to the game with the blackface paint on, but applied it sometime during the game. He eventually took the face paint off after some of the peers spoke up. The district says there's no excuse for his behavior and is praising students who had the courage to intervene.
Wisconsin is ending the year with more fatal police shootings than last year. New data collected by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association shows state law enforcement shot and killed 16 people this year. That's 3 more than last year. Of the 28 fatal and non-fatal shootings so far this year, 26 involved a suspect with a weapon.
The man facing charges for an attempted homicide is due in court today. 32-year-old Donald Lewis was arrested in connection with the shooting at Club Landmark on Madison's east side in October. A 36-year-old man was shot outside the club and showed up at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police got DNA from the scene and matched it to Lewis.
The man accused of throwing acid onto a Latino man's face will state his case to a judge today. 61-year-old Clifton Blackwell is charged with first-degree reckless injury as a hate crime. Blackwell is in jail this morning, but he could get out on a $20,000 bond if he's able to get a GPS monitor. If not, he'll have to pay $50,000 to bond out.
Some recalls to know about as you prepare for Thanksgiving. Romaine Lettuce under recall for concerns over Ecoli. 40 people across 16 states have gotten sick, including folks right here in Wisconsin. In Illinois, 500,000 pounds of pork product are being recalled because they weren't inspected. And cheese nips are also under recall as some boxes might be contaminated with plastic bits.
A lot of us are saving up money to spend on those awesome Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals. But if you want something that will truly warm your heart, you might want to participate in Giving Tuesday. That's 1 week from today, and there are tons of amazing local charities to give to in our area. More than 6,000, in fact, in Dane, Columbia, Greene, Sauk, and Iowa counties. We have a rundown of some very worthy and very local charities you might consider giving to, including the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Porch Light, and Geo's Garden. For a full list, head to our website.
Thank you very much, Keely. 6:56. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Westbound side of the Beltline getting a little busier now near the Monona Drive exit, and things will continue to pick up over the next hour or so. Inbound side of John Nolan starting to get more crowded between Rimrock and Olin Avenue as you make your way into downtown. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh.
And take a look at this sunrise, guys. Lots of colors in the sky this morning. Beautiful, quiet start to the day here across southern Wisconsin. Things are going to change, though, today as our rain is expected to move in after 3 p.m. Temperatures, though, topping at 45 degrees, so one more relatively mild day. If you are traveling to the north and west, that's where the heaviest snow is expected. There will likely be a band of 6 to 12 inches of snow from southwestern Minnesota into northern Wisconsin.
Thank you very much, Addie.
And thank you for joining us. Go make it a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.